Dear viewers, welcome to a new episode of our program. If I ask you a simple question, what is the most common bird on our planet? What would you say? Chicken, right? Let me tell you something surprising. The number of chickens on Earth is growing massively compared to humans. We are around 8 billion people on the planet, while chickens are estimated at about 33 billion alive at any given time. That's more than any other land animal used for food, more than cows, sheep, goats, and even pigs. And this 33 billion figure is actually not perfectly precise because it only counts living chickens, not the ones already eaten. Yes, that includes your KFC bucket. A researcher and writer named Eric Dorfman analyzed data from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and through this data, he estimated something even more shocking. In 2016 alone, around 66 billion chickens were produced worldwide. And here's the crazy part. Almost 99% of people watching this video have probably eaten chicken at least once in their life. Dorfman also calculated something interesting. Globally, we produce about 8.8 chickens per human being. In other words, on average, one person corresponds to nearly 9 chickens. Now, compare that to the past. In 1961, the numbers were completely different. It was roughly 1 chicken for every 400 people. Think about that. 60 years ago, 400 people shared 1 chicken. And today, each human being corresponds to around 9 chickens. That's an unbelievable jump in production. And today, estimates suggest that around 55 billion chickens are slaughtered every year, not even counting those still alive. That's about 5.4 million chickens every hour, and roughly 1,500 chickens every second. So the question is obvious. What pushed us to these extreme numbers in chicken consumption?
The answer is complex. Some people will say it's simple. Chicken tastes good. And honestly, that's probably part of it. But there's much more behind it. To understand it properly, we need to go back and look at the story of chicken from the beginning. And along the way, we'll discover how it became the #1 meat in human diets. In 2007, scientists studying collagen in a protein sample taken from a Tyrannosaurus rex fossil made a surprising discovery. After analysis, the result was described as remarkably similar to chicken. Wait, what? A T-Rex similar to a chicken? And what does that mean? It means that chickens are, in a way, living dinosaurs. All birds belong to a group called aves, and they are evolutionarily closer to dinosaurs than many modern reptiles. Think about it. When you see a crocodile, you might think it looks prehistoric, but in terms of evolution, a chicken is actually closer to a T-Rex than a crocodile is. Nature is stranger than we think.
The important thing is that all domesticated chickens on Earth today, known scientifically as Gallus domesticus, come from a wild ancestor called the red jungle fowl, which itself belongs to the genus Gallus. The red jungle fowl still exists today in parts of South Asia, especially India, and it has a very striking trait. It lays 1 egg almost every day during the breeding season. Imagine waking up daily and finding a fresh egg. It can produce up to 250 eggs per year, which is extremely high compared to most wild birds. Scientists believe this ability evolved because the jungle fowl lives near bamboo forests. Bamboo is unusual. It doesn't produce fruit every year, but when it does, it produces large amounts all at once. So a bird that lays many eggs has a better chance of producing chicks that survive and take advantage of this sudden food abundance. Over time, humans noticed this powerful advantage. But interestingly, what first attracted humans wasn't even the hens or the eggs. It was the rooster. Yes, the male chicken. Roosters are highly territorial. A dominant rooster controls a group of hens, and when another male appears, it becomes aggressive. It even uses a sharp spike on its leg called a spur to fight and injure rivals. Humans started capturing and fighting these roosters. For the first time in history, humans were no longer the prey. They became the observers of animal combat. This gave birth to one of the oldest continuous sports still practiced today: cockfighting.
This tradition goes back roughly 8,000 years, starting in the Indus Valley Civilization, in regions that are now Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan. From there, people began domesticating jungle fowl, which gradually became the chickens we know today, spreading eastward into China and beyond. Chickens first reached ancient Iran around the 2nd millennium BCE, but surprisingly, they were not initially used as food or entertainment. They were worshipped. In Zoroastrian culture, the rooster was considered sacred. Its crowing symbolized the eternal battle between light and darkness, good versus evil. Later, chickens appeared in the ancient city of Ur in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, one of the most important cities of its time. There, they were described as royal birds kept in kings' gardens, admired for their bright colors and exotic appearance. Around the middle of the 1st millennium BCE, an Egyptian king invaded parts of Iraq. When he returned, inscriptions show him bringing back a strange and fascinating bird, one that could lay eggs every single day. And this is where things took a completely different turn. The Egyptians didn't keep chickens just for decoration, and they didn't use them for fighting. They saw something bigger. They decided to produce. You see, a chicken lays an egg almost every day, whether it's fertilized by a rooster or not. Normally, when it comes time to hatch, the hen will sit on around 12 eggs for about 21 days until they hatch.
But the Egyptians thought differently. They said, what if we take the eggs from under the chicken, let her continue laying more and more eggs, and instead, we place those eggs somewhere else to hatch? So they built special heated structures, early ovens, to incubate the eggs artificially. And just like that, they created something revolutionary: the first artificial incubator in human history. You might ask, when did all of this happen? More than 3,000 years ago, my friend. And here's the surprising part: this method stayed a closely guarded secret for centuries, until a French scientist named René Antoine described these incubation ovens as one of the great prides of Egyptian civilization. Think about that for a second. They built the pyramids, yet one of their most impressive innovations was egg production. These incubation ovens were designed on 2 levels. The upper level contained a carefully controlled fire, while the lower level held the eggs, placed in baskets over warm ash. This setup created the perfect balance of heat and humidity, almost like recreating the body of a chicken sitting on her eggs. And from that moment on, unfortunately for the chicken, everything changed. It moved from palace gardens and sacred rituals straight to the grill. Chicken gradually became a regular meal for the wealthy classes in Egypt.
Now, it's true that artificial incubation didn't spread to the Romans, But they took chicken farming to another level. They expanded it, organized it, built dedicated shelters, fenced areas, and raised chickens in a way never seen before. Back then, chickens would eat almost anything. Leftovers, insects. They were basically like a living environmental cleanup system. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Romans believed chickens could see the future. Yes, they thought chickens had supernatural powers, and before going into battle, they would actually consult them. The truth is, what really makes chickens unique is their vision. Each eye works independently. The right eye focuses on the ground, spotting food, while the left eye scans the surroundings, watching for danger. To the Romans, this wasn't just biology, it was something mystical. They saw this ability as proof that chickens could see the unseen, and because of that, they actually consulted them before military campaigns, using them as a kind of guide before going to war. From this point on, we can say that chickens spread rapidly across the ancient world. Why? Because of one key advantage: their incredible ability to adapt. They can survive in almost any environment, from tropical regions to extremely cold climates. And slowly, they became part of cultures all around the world. In Norse mythology in Northern Europe, the crowing of 3 roosters was believed to signal the beginning of Ragnarok, the end of the gods.
In Japan, within the Shinto religion, the rooster is linked to the sun goddess Amaterasu, a central figure representing light and the universe. Even in ancient pagan Europe, chicken eggs were part of spring celebrations. Later, Christians adopted them into Easter traditions, turning them into a powerful religious symbol. Then, in the 9th century, Pope Nicholas I issued a decree encouraging the placement of rooster statues on church towers. The rooster symbolized a key religious moment connected to St. Peter. Its crowing marked a powerful turning point in the story. The decree itself didn't last forever, but its impact did. That's why, even today, you still see rooster figures on top of weather vanes, those devices that show wind direction, a tradition that originally started on church rooftops and survived through time. The important thing is that during the Middle Ages, chickens became incredibly popular, mainly because they were cheap and easy to raise. But something interesting caught the attention of archaeologists. A massive increase in chicken bones dated between the years 900 and 1000. So, what changed? The answer is actually tied to religion. During this period, a powerful class of clergy rose to influence, and they imposed strict fasting rules. Most types of meat were forbidden, but poultry and eggs were still allowed. So, naturally, people turned to chickens. And this shift didn't just affect consumption, it actually changed the animal itself. A study published by Oxford University in 2017, which analyzed chicken bones from that era, found clear signs of rapid genetic changes. Why? Because humans had started selecting chickens based on what they wanted. Bigger size, more eggs, easier to handle, less aggression. In other words, this was early artificial selection shaping the modern chicken. And there's also a simpler explanation mentioned by one author. Chickens spread everywhere because humans carried them everywhere. They're small, easy to transport, and perfect for long journeys, especially on ships. So wherever humans went, chickens followed. During the Age of Exploration, the time of Columbus and Magellan, people set out on journeys without even knowing when or if they would reach their destination. In that context, chickens became incredibly practical. One chicken could easily serve as a small family meal. Simple, efficient, reliable. But larger animals like cows or livestock, that was a different story. feeding them on a ship was difficult, and preserving their meat was an even bigger challenge. Remember, this was long before freezers or processed food. If you slaughtered an animal, you had to eat it immediately. And that's exactly where chickens had the advantage. They were small, easy to manage, and didn't require much. On top of that, chickens are relatively defenseless animals. They can't really fight, they can barely fly, and they certainly can't swim. In other words, once you have them, they're not going anywhere. Because of all this, European explorers and settlers ended up spreading chickens across the world. And here's an interesting twist. There's even a theory suggesting that chickens may have reached South America before Columbus, possibly brought by sailors from Oceania long before European contact.
In North America, chickens held a very different role. For enslaved Africans, chickens were not just food. They were often the only animals they were allowed to own. And from their traditions came something that would later become world famous: fried chicken. Specifically, pieces of chicken fried in palm oil, a dish that many historians trace back to West Africa. Over time, it spread and became deeply rooted in the southern United States, especially in places like Georgia and Kentucky. Now let's shift to Europe. In the 19th century, Britain was facing a serious and ongoing crisis: chronic food shortages during a period known as the Hungry 40s. At that time, London was the largest city in the world, even larger than Beijing. Life was harsh. People worked all day just to afford a single meal for their families. Rising costs and heavy taxes led to strikes, unrest, and even revolutions. The economist Thomas Robert Malthus warned about something critical. If population keeps growing while resources remain limited, society could face a catastrophic food shortage. And he had a point. Every society needs a stable and affordable source of protein to survive and function. Then came a turning point. After the Opium War between China and Britain, something unexpected happened. The British brought back large and high-quality chicken breeds from Asia. And they had an idea. What if we crossbreed European chickens with Asian ones? The goal was simple: bigger chickens, more efficient production, and a cheaper source of food. And from that moment, a new phase began. A phase known as hen fever. As different chicken breeds were carefully selected and crossbred, one person was paying very close attention to all of this: Darwin. He began to wonder, if humans can shape animals through selective breeding, could something similar happen naturally without human intervention? To explore this idea, he studied different chicken breeds and observed how hybridization works, and this became part of the thinking that led to his theory of evolution. At the same time, humans were pushing things even further. They started using technology to massively increase chicken production through artificial incubators. But these weren't like the simple ovens of ancient Egypt. These new systems used coal and later electricity to maintain precise temperatures, especially important in the harsh winters of northern regions. And this is where things really changed. Industrial chicken farming began to emerge. Chickens could now be raised in large numbers all together without even needing natural sunlight. However, this model didn't spread everywhere immediately. Before World War I, it was very common in the United States for families, especially women, to raise chickens at home. It was a way to generate extra income or simply support the household. Then came World War II.
During the war, foods like meat, cheese, and dairy were rationed and prioritized for soldiers on the front lines. But chicken wasn't. And because of that, demand for chicken increased dramatically, reaching levels never seen before. For the first time, chicken consumption in the United States really started to rise. But there was a problem. The average consumer wasn't satisfied with the size of the chicken. People wanted something bigger, a chunky chicken that could feed an entire family of 4. More meat at a lower price. And this is where things took a major turn.
In 1944, a manager from a large American supermarket chain called A&P launched a competition with a very specific goal: to create a chicken so large that its breast would rival that of a turkey. This is where the famous Chicken of Tomorrow competition was born. The competition was backed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, and it ended up changing the world of food production forever. Why? Because it directly shaped the chickens we eat today. The chickens you see in supermarkets now, weighing around 3 kilograms, simply didn't exist in that form before the late 19th century. What we consider normal today was once impossible. But it wasn't just selective breeding that made this happen. Another major factor was the introduction of antibiotics into chicken feed, which accelerated growth rates significantly. And beyond that, advances in genetics and technology played a huge role in producing larger, faster-growing chickens. In the end, what looks like a simple animal on your plate is actually the result of decades of science, competition, and industrial innovation. In 2004, scientists successfully decoded the full chicken genome, and what they found was powerful. They identified a gene that controls glucose levels and metabolism. By manipulating it, chickens can gain weight much faster, becoming significantly fatter. And that's not all. Another gene, the one linked to thyroid hormone receptors, was also modified. By altering it, chickens can continue laying eggs without being limited by natural cycles like time of day or seasons. At this point, chickens are no longer just animals. They are systems engineered for production.
Today, chickens are mainly divided into 2 types. The first type is broiler chickens, raised purely for meat. These are the chickens most people eat. And here's the shocking part. Many of them have never laid a single egg in their entire life. Their bodies grow so quickly and become so heavy that their internal organs, like the heart and lungs, can't keep up. Because of that, they have to be slaughtered at around 45 days old. Even though a natural chicken lifespan ranges between 3 to 7 years. Most of these chickens never see sunlight. They hatch, they grow in controlled environments, and after just 45 days, they are gone. That is their entire life cycle. The second type is egg-laying chickens. These chickens produce eggs continuously, and those eggs are not fertilized because roosters are not needed in the egg industry. This leads to another harsh reality. Male chicks, which cannot lay eggs and are not suitable for meat production, are often treated as surplus. In many industrial systems, they are sorted out immediately after hatching and eliminated, either through mechanical shredding or gas methods. As for the hens, when their egg production starts to decline, some farming systems use extreme methods to restart it, including periods of food and water deprivation, followed by refeeding, which shocks the body into producing eggs again. On top of that, most industrial chickens undergo beak trimming and live in conditions that can cause continuous stress and discomfort throughout their lives. And even with all of this, what's coming next might be even more concerning. Each chicken typically lives in a space smaller than an A4 sheet of paper.
In large industrial farms, tens of thousands of chickens, sometimes around 30,000, are kept in the same enclosed environment, often with very limited sunlight and minimal ventilation. As a result, gases from waste accumulate heavily in the air. Over time, this creates extremely harsh conditions where chickens can develop what is known as ammonia burn or ammonia poisoning.
On top of that, this level of overcrowding makes disease transmission much easier. Infections such as Salmonella and Campylobacter can spread rapidly through entire flocks. Indeed, in 1983, an outbreak in Pennsylvania highlighted how quickly poultry-related diseases can become a serious public health concern. The challenge today is that the global chicken population has become enormous, in the billions. At this scale, even imagining a complete replacement or restructuring of the system becomes extremely difficult. At this point, chicken is not just food, it is part of a global economic system. If chickens were suddenly to disappear, the impact would be massive. Supply chains would collapse, prices would spike, and many restaurants and industries would be heavily affected. And no, this is not about telling anyone what to do or what not to do. It's simply about awareness. To think about it, to understand the scale of what we've built, and maybe, just maybe, to reflect on how we treat a creature that has become one of the most important animals in human history, the chicken.
If this video made you think differently about food and history, subscribe for more mind-blowing documentaries like this. Comment below, chicken, if you want more deep hidden history videos. Don't forget to like the video. It really helps the channel grow and brings more content like this.